Hey everybody, Mark Schulz here. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I'm here with my business colleague, Larry Little. Hey Larry.
Hey Mark, hey, thanks for the invitation today.
Yeah, good to have you here. We wanted to meet with you and have a bit of a conversation about digital transformation. You know how passionate I am about it. I've been speaking about it for a long, long time. And it's so important to me. And, you know, actually Larry and I, we worked together for many years, you know, both working in this area of digital transformation. So, hey, Larry, just tell me, you know, for the people out there who are listening to this video, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in this area of digital transformation.
Well, hey, Mark, first off, let me say again, thanks for the opportunity, because you and I have shared this passion for what, 10 years, maybe?
Long time.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe even longer about how do we make our aerospace industry more efficient. And I think we've seen it happen a lot, but man, there's just so much more to do. And there's so many opportunities like you've been talking about over the last, what, 2 months around digital transformation and how do we increase the overall efficiency of the industry.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, Larry and I have been through a lot of different experiences over the years. We've met with a lot of different customers and we've seen a lot of different things. Hey, if I were to ask you, you know, Larry, what are some of the really big problems that you saw some of the customers that we were working with in the past, you know, dealing with?
Well, you know, Mark, we always say, how do you get the right information to the right person at the right time? And there's so many inefficiencies in the system that we know today around getting that right information to the right person at the right time. And when you see it in action and you see a mechanic that has everything he needs at the airplane, it's really special.
So you're basically trying to create significant efficiencies through providing information and data, you know, to people when they need it, you know, in the location where they are, to be able to create those efficiencies.
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. And you know, Mark, like you and I have talked before, we've seen the flight deck and we've seen the pilots really embrace digital technology, and that's happened. And we, you know, there's not a flight deck you walk in today that the pilot's not going to have an iPad with some applications on it. And we've seen here recently, we've seen mechanics sort of start to adopt this technology as well. But again, it's how do you pull all those together into a business case, into a value stream that might make sense to an airline or to a fixed base operator or you know, maybe just to a department within an airline.
Yeah, you know, you and I have been trying to tackle this problem for many, many years. And, you know, what's really exciting to me is actually that all of the factors that affect the possibility of success have really come together in the last couple of years to make this possible.
Right.
You know, all along the way. I mean, you know, we had problems originally with data standards, and then we had problems getting data, and then we had problems with having applications that didn't exist, and then we had, you know, we didn't have internet technology, and then we didn't have devices that would work, and then most recently it was really, you know, regulators were pushing back. But I've told people in videos that I've done here, you know, recently is that there isn't a regulator out there anymore that's saying you can't do this. They're saying just tell me how you're going to do this at this point in time. Has that been your experience as well?
You know, absolutely, absolutely, Mark. And I think you and I have talked about this before too. Is I've never seen maintenance in an airline or maintenance in our space adopt change so quickly as they have around digital. We're not there yet, but the adoption of these digital tools has just been fascinating to watch. I've been in this space about 15 years, and I can remember when we first started talking about hosted solutions and walking into an airline, and the application failed about halfway through the demonstration, and the director of engineering got up and walked out and said, I'm not going to use these tools. And here we are, you know, maybe 10 years later, it's pretty much expected that a mechanic will have an iPad in their toolbox, just like they have a wrench, to be able to do their job.
Yeah, that's really changed. I mean, I remember when you started working with the adoption of that technology, and, you know, at the beginning it was one customer, and then 2 customers, and then 3 customers, and then what happened after that? I mean, you had a pretty big transformational change.
Well, you know, it's like any other change. It's not linear. These things they're not strictly linear. Once you get some traction, you really start to move up the curve quickly in terms of customer adoption, and not really customer adoption. It's really employee adoption. And once the employees see how some of these tools can really make their job easier, make it more fun, the adoption just takes off through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember seeing some of the numbers, and you had 100-fold increases in the deployment of some of that technology. It was pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And but it starts with a committed leadership team. It starts with a leadership team that has a vision, has a strategy, knows where they want to go, and they don't always have to have a business case that closes to get going, but they know that they're going to go there, they're going to implement digital technology, and in their heart and in their soul, they know it's going to make a difference. And those guys who are brave enough to lead, we've seen them really have tremendous successes in terms of the overall efficiency of their operation.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I think that belief and enthusiasm are a critical part of digital transformation. They really are. Yeah.
And you said it, Mark, but that enthusiasm piece is so important. And because along the way, you're going to fail. There are going to be failures, and you're going to have some frustrations, and you're going to go home at night and say, why am I doing this? But the guys who have been willing to stick with it and know in their hearts they're doing the right thing have been wildly successful. I mean, to the tunes of efficiencies in the 20 or 30% range in a maintenance operation, which is just, it's huge.
That's really significant. I've seen those same kind of efficiencies as well. People think that's hard to believe that you can actually achieve those kind of efficiencies. But I've really seen efficiencies that are 20, 30, 40% reductions in labor, as a result of using some of the technologies that you've deployed in the past.
Absolutely. And, we talk a little bit about leadership and the commitment from upper leadership to make this happen, maybe where you don't completely have a solid business case, but that there's the right thing. But it also takes a commitment to your employees. We had one airline that decided to adopt digital technology, and there were some guys that just said, no, I don't want to do this. But as they started using some of the technologies, as they started using the iPads and the integration, they really started enjoying their job more. They got more satisfaction because they felt like, well, I'm not wasting a bunch of time running in and out looking for information. I'm really more efficient in everything that I'm doing.
Now, I agree with that. My experience has been, people always say, oh, the people are going to resist the change or resist the technology. But my experience is that when people see the value in what it is that they're doing, and they see the return and that this really works, that people embrace that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I've seen, I had one implementation that we did where there was a couple of people that were late adopters, and they were having difficulty grasping the technology. And once they got the technology in their hands, it wasn't long before I saw those late adopters actually training people and showing them, hey, no, this is how you do this. This is the way you use this. And them actually embracing it to the point where they're teaching other people on how to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've talked about a little bit about leadership and vision. Tools and processes are really important. Having employee buy-in and having the employees understand that, hey, this really does make my job more fun and more interesting. Those are all just key elements of a basic change management process that really helps implement these ideas that we're talking about.